Hey there, Derek Rydall here, founder of the Law of Emergence and author of the best-selling books Emergence and the Abundance Project. And I've been gone for a while. Depending on when you listen to this, that may not be true, but I really felt the need to come back and share, because during this period while I've been silent, or at least relatively silent, what I really wanted to do is get online and just rant. And this is going to be a unique share. This is not, I don't have a specific topic. I mean, it is, we need to grow up or else. But it feels more like from that line from Network where the man goes to the window and he tells the people, go to the window and shout, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's what I've been feeling like. I've been feeling like going to the window, the social media window, and shouting, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. But really mad at, most of America and beyond America, but I'm speaking probably largely about America, but it really is human nature. But America is really showing its age right now. And by that, I mean its youth, its ignorance, its entitlement. And I'm not talking about America, the idea. America, the idea is beautiful. It's one of the greatest ideas on the planet as far as a country goes. The idea of real freedom, of each individual having the full freedom and unalienable rights, right? It's an idea. It's a project. It's an experiment. But America, the project, and America as the people are extremely young, extremely entitled, extremely selfish, narcissistic, and again, I'm not just speaking about America, but because it's certainly throughout the world, because it's human nature, but it's got a unique element to us American people, or the United States, I guess I should say, to be more accurate. And I'm not saying everybody, and if this isn't you, I'm not talking about you, but what we're going through right now, and we're growing through right now, is an apocalypse. It is what is being hidden is being revealed. This is a real apocalypse. It may not be zombies in the streets, but what's happened with the pandemic and the financial crisis and so many dreams and fantasies and identities and structures and systems being tested to the breaking point and actually breaking, actually crumbling. America is failing right now. The United States is failing. And I don't just mean at the pandemic, although that's certainly a big part of it. And this is not a political statement, because this is not against Trump or for somebody else. Although I think it should be obvious that the way that the United States government has handled what's going on is profoundly bad. And who's to say how anybody else would handle it, because look at how everybody's handled it. Not just the government, but look at how the United States people have handled it. While people are dying at a much higher rate than the flu, and I do also want to say this is part of it, this is going to be somewhat of a rant. This isn't just the common flu, and it's not a conspiracy. It may have been created in a lab and accidentally gotten loose, I don't know. But it's a real pandemic, and people are really dying, and the hospitals are really getting overrun, and all of it's real. Yes, some of it gets blown out of proportion. Some of it has been used for a lot of it has been used for political purposes, for sure. But what it's revealing, remember, in an apocalypse, what is hidden is revealed. It's the year of 2020, and many of us thought 2020 was going to be this amazing, beautiful, clear vision, right? Clear vision 2020. And it isn't the beautiful version of it. It's the kind of clear vision that you experience when you've been living in a dark room and you've grown up in a dark place and your eyes have adjusted to the darkness and somebody flips on the light, okay? Now, you suddenly have a lot clearer vision, right? But it's not, oh, hallelujah. It's turn off the goddamn light, my eyes are burning. And that's how a lot of people are feeling right now, because what's been hidden is being revealed. It's showing the systemic problems in our systems. It's showing the systemic problems in our society. It's showing the systemic problems in our souls. When people are getting sick at this level and dying at this level and losing their jobs and their livelihoods at this level, and what we do is we fight about whether or not we should wear a goddamn mask. I mean, we need to grow the F up, people. Okay, this is my I'm mad as hell moment. We need to grow up. In other countries where they've figured this out and they've worn the mask, in Korea or in South Korea or Japan, you notice they're not completely crumbling. And it's not about the mask. I want to say it's not about the goddamn mask. It's never about what it appears to be about. It's about what it's bringing up in us. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Oh, everybody's conspiring against me. It's bringing up in us. It's showing us what's been hidden. It's showing us our pettiness. It's showing us our entitlement. It's showing us our narcissism. You know, some of those memes going around where people are like, nobody's going to tell me what to do. I've been fine all my life without a mask. Cut to a month later, it's an obituary of the same person. Or, hey, we have our freedoms. Nobody's going to tranche on our freedoms. And then, you know, here, I'm going to go to this awesome pool party. Cut to a month later, and it's an obituary. This is real. And there is tragedy happening all around us. And we're fighting about goddamn masks. And then we have things like the Black Lives Matter. Something real that needs to be addressed, but then we're triggered and our own traumas come up. And I'm very disappointed in the quote unquote liberal movement. There's almost nothing actually liberal left in the liberal movement. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about making somebody else wrong. It's not about truth. It's not about facts. You know, we take over the city in Portland or whatever, create the Chaz zone, the free zone, and we're going to show how to really do it. And in a very short time, it's run by armed militia. People are getting killed. People are getting beat up. Reporters are getting beat up. People are stealing things, and the whole thing just crumbles. It reminds me of my mentor, Michael Beckwith, years ago when he was part of, I don't know if it was the Black Panthers or whatever it was, but you know, these freedom fighters, these people are going to change the world. And one day he's sitting around the table of all these great liberal people that are going to change the world, and he looks around and he goes, if we get power, it's going to be the same thing, if not worse. And I really want us to get this. It's not about the left or right. You cannot fly without a left and a right wing, all right? Can we just really get that? Okay? The left wing and the right wing. And these are not just political parties. These are states of consciousness, and these are perceptual frameworks, okay? One is about conserving and one is about, you know, progress, and one is about individualism, and one is about collectivism or about the group. You have to have both. You need a right brain and a left brain, right? You need the masculine and the feminine. You need chaos and order, or creativity and structure. You need the left wing and the right wing. Can we grow the F up? And realize that it is literally the left hand fighting with the right hand. It is our right brain trying to destroy our left brain and vice versa. We are battling with ourselves, and we can destroy ourselves. The tomorrow is not promised to us. The American experiment is not guaranteed, folks. Empires fall all the time in history. But not only that, the planet as we know it is not guaranteed. In the United States, we may be beyond the point of return in terms of what's going to happen with this virus and the impact, because we never just sat our asses home and did what we had to do. We're so spoiled and so entitled. Here's more of the mad as hell moment. We're so spoiled and entitled that it's like, if I have to go 3 months without being able to go to a party, I'm just going to lose my shit. Well, what you should do then is lose your shit and turn your shit into fertilizer and grow a new goddamn garden. Because clearly you need to grow up. Right? And I want to say that I'm saying all this, I'm including myself in whatever aspect of this that applies to me. I lost my 24-year-old son during this time. I experienced the greatest tragedy of my life during this time. I've experienced bouts of depression and anxiety and fear like everybody. The difference is, if there's any difference, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, is that I still took responsibility for my feelings, for my beliefs. I looked at my map of reality. I saw where I was creating right and wrong and creating conflict and us and them. I look at where I'm triggered by people. Believe me, I have great compassion, right? But I feel like this is the energy of the prophet. And the prophets didn't come along and say, oh, I understand, it's hard. It's hard to not be greedy and selfish. It's hard to not, be a narcissist. So no problem. No, the prophets came along and said, if you keep acting greedy and selfish and narcissistic, and you don't take care of the poor, and you don't take care of your own household, and you don't take care of yourself, your temple's going to crumble. Your life's going to crumble. You will end up in apocalypse, in disaster. And that's what we need to look at right now. And so right now it sounds like I'm doom and gloom. And I think we need a little dose of doom and gloom. It's like the Dalai Lama said years ago, before 9/11, when they asked, what do you wish for America? And he said, I wish for them more suffering. And he didn't mean that. He's the Dalai Lama. He's not a masochist. He meant it from compassion, because he understood that we were so young and entitled, with like the little kid on the block with all the big toys. And again, I'm not knocking America, the idea. The idea is great. And this is also where the liberals go wrong, is they want to tear down America. No, you have to rebuild and improve. Like Martin Luther King Jr. said, we have to actually fulfill on the promise of America, not tear it down. We have to fulfill on the promise of the vision of freedom and beyond and into the world, not tear it down, not tear each other down, and not tear ourselves down. We have to fulfill on the great promise that is within all of us, of creating a world that works for the highest good of all. And you cannot create that world through merely attacking and shaming and blaming and just running around wild and asserting your freedom and coughing all over everybody else and breathing over everybody else because nobody's going to tell you what to do. And meanwhile, you end up infecting people, like going around and smoking in public because you don't have the freedom to do that. Freedom means freedom in a way that doesn't impinge on anybody else's. It's not just sovereignty and individualism. It's also what is best for the collective without sacrificing that. The left and the right, the masculine and the feminine. We've created a storyline and we keep building on it of an us against them. It's not Black Lives Matter against All Lives Matter. All Lives Matter includes all Black lives. And I'm not saying you can't say Black Lives Matter to make a point. And I'm saying don't weaponize All Lives Matter to try to go against it. Just like with the Me Too movement. Why do we have to keep taking a real initiative, a real need, a real challenge, and weaponizing it? So we can just beat everybody else into submission with it. Why do we have to keep doing that? Why do we have to be right? Why do we have to be right? Because let me tell you, even your best idea is wrong. Even our very best idea is wrong. It's relative. We're going to look back a year from now at our best ideas and say, what the F were we thinking? We of ourselves do not actually have the best idea. It's only when we get out of ourselves. It's only when we open up to a bigger idea. It's only when we open up to life and we humbly offer ourselves to life and say, not my will, but thy will. What is love's solution? What is, you want to win the argument? Win the argument for love. Win the argument or answer the question, how can everybody win? Everybody. Not how can I win over them? How can I prove you're wrong and I'm right? Or my team is better than your team, or my identity is better than your identity. Every single one of these issues has become weaponized. Identity politics, transgender politics, racial politics, pandemic politics. And at the core of it is our need to have an enemy and to have a good and a bad, a right and a wrong, to use a good power over a bad power, destroy the bad, increase the good. And there's no way to win that war, guys. We will destroy ourselves. And so my invitation to you is to notice where you've gotten caught up in that, where you're getting caught up in the BS conspiracies floating around, all this nonsense about Trump saving the world from pedophiles, all this nonsense about this grand cabal that's trying to vaccinate everybody and turn us into zombies. I'm not saying there's not conspiracies. I'm not saying there's not nefarious agendas. I'm not saying that there's not industrialized pharmaceutical and industrialized military complex. But we have to be able to separate these things that are trying to literally grab us and brainwash us and use us for some other political agenda and outside of our circle of actual influence. And we have to focus on not our circle of concern, not our circle of conspiracy, but our real circle of influence. If you're not living a life where you're coming predominantly from love and from peace and from joy and from purpose, where you are seeking to forgive and to serve and to up-level and to uplift and to upgrade everybody and everything you touch, you don't have any goddamn time to be thinking about, talking about, or spreading conspiracy nonsense. The only way to end the war in the world and the conflict in the world is to end it within ourselves, and then to end it within our closest relationships, and then to bring it through our art and our creativity and our work in the world. We're not going to solve anything by spending hours on social media, going down rabbit holes, making everybody wrong, getting all caught up in the drama and the trauma and the conflict, and grabbing hold of real issues and turning them into political cudgels to beat everybody else into submission, whether it's women against men or vice versa, or Black Lives Matter against whoever else. All of this has become politicized. It's not what you think it is. It's being used for propaganda. We need to just get free from that noise. The truth is not out there. The truth is in here. The truth is in you. It's not on social media. It's not even in the words I'm telling you right now. These words are not the truth. But they may be the finger pointing to the moon. The truth is in you. And we have to become more interested in discovering the truth within us. The truth that brings about more peace, more love, more compassion, more understanding, more inspiration, more true vision. That's how you know you're starting to get on the truth. If it makes you want to divide and conquer more, if it makes you want to make other people more wrong, if it makes you want to take more time going down social media rabbit holes and conspiracy rabbit holes, if it makes you want to just constantly be online all the time, you're not touching the truth yet. And Mother Nature sent us to our room for a reason, folks. To really think about what we've done and how we've been behaving, okay? We were grounded, and we all thought we could get out early. And Mother Nature's like, not so fast, kid. You didn't take the time in your room to do what you were there for. You went in there, you played some Nintendo, you ate some frozen pizza, watched some Netflix, chatter with your friends about all this stuff, and then you think you're just going to come out? No. Get back in your room. Really think about what you're thinking about. Really think about who you are and who you're becoming. Are you becoming the change you want to see in the world? Stop trying to change everybody else. Become the change you want to see in your children, in your spouse, in your clients, in your family, in your community, in your company, in your country. Become the change. That's where the real courage is. It doesn't take courage to do what most people are doing right now. It takes courage to stare at your own shadows, your own darkness, your own fear, doubt, worry, grief, anger, shame, trauma, and meet those places with love and understanding and really hearing them and holding them until they feel truly heard and whole. And because hurt people, but heard people, each H-E-A-R-D, hear people. And as one of my coaches in my team today said, we're needing to develop herd immunity, H-E-A-R-D, herd immunity, right? We need to hear ourselves first. We need to understand ourselves first, because you cannot stand in the world until you have a deep understanding. And that leads to a more powerful inner standing, and then you can really stand on the outside and become outstanding. But most people don't know where they really stand, don't have any real understanding of themselves, are at war within themselves, and are projecting that war on the world and using everybody as a proxy. And we will destroy ourselves that way. But if you that are listening and sharing this video, if you will, are willing to do the work yourself, to become the change you want to see, instead of questioning everything in the world, question everything in you. Because that's where the real conspiracy theories are running. That's where everything is really hidden. That's where the truth lies. And that's the only place you're going to find freedom, and the only way we're going to bring about peace. So that was my rant. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it. Please share. Comment what you're getting from this. Feedback, pushback, that's fine, as long as it's constructive. And share this, because I really want to stress, tomorrow is not guaranteed, folks. The American experiment is not guaranteed. The world experiment is not guaranteed. We can destroy ourselves, or we can recreate ourselves. The choice is up to us. I hope we'll choose wisely. I love and appreciate you. And until next time, remember, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny. Take care.